Hello, everyone. Welcome to West Ham Fan TV. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are in the world. You've seen the title, another transfer. Well, I'm going to call this one a coup. Nicholas Füllkrug has joined the club. Um, Listen, he's 31 years old. There's no longevity. He's joining a 4-year deal for 27 million pounds. It's not cheap for a 31-year-old. But we have had a few forwards over the time that have not quite fitted the bill. But listen, we was chasing Duran. Before Krug news come out, it looked like it was on. It looked like it was off. It looked like it was on again. But there is no denying that the way West Ham are moving in the transfer market at the moment, they're they're doing their business. I'm not gonna say early because we're 2 weeks away from the season, but we're doing it a lot earlier and a lot sort of like getting deals over the line a lot more with a lot more. What's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? A lot more pizzazz than we usually do. We seem to be going for these. We seem to be going for these players and actually going and getting them and getting them. Steident's going out there, goes and gets Füllkrug. Brings him back to East London. Listen, I was watching Füllkrug in the Euros. I mean, he scored a cracking goal against Germany. That's for sure. Um, pulled it to the right and arrowed it in the top corner. I also saw he scored the goal at PSG where he brought it down. He's got a lot more gumption. That's the word. Yeah. He's a quality centre forward. Look, he's only been at Borussia Dortmund for a year, but in that year he's obviously played in a semi-final of Champions League, final of Champions League actually. He joined last year from Werder Bremen, where he had a sort of a 1-in-2 ratio of scoring goals, which is always the mark of a world class forward, 1-in-2. He is 31 years old, but he joined them for 30 million euros. So they've sort of doubled their money on him, so they're going to be happy. But for us to go over there with no European football and to attract him over to East London, get him on a 4-year deal here, tie him up. I hope he's the forward we've been looking for. But listen, the way we're lining up next season, look, I know the defence looks a bit dodgy at the moment. There's going to be outgoings. I'm sure of it. There's going to be a few going out before the end of the transfer window. But when you look at the likes of Kilman, done, dusted, delivered, Guilherme, Somerville, now Füllkrug. Looks like Rodriguez is going to be wrapped up in the centre midfield. Looks like Wan-Bissaka's coming. It's a revolution, and you've got to, and when you put these deals to the likes of, sort of, what's his name, Kudus last year, Tim Steident is going out and he means business. He's getting these deals sort of looked at, done, wrapped up, and signed, still delivered. There's a real revolution going on at West Ham at the moment. I don't know what the emphasis is behind it. I don't know what the drive is behind it, but it seems like there is a project. And when you hear about what Somerville said the other day, he's talking about the Conference League win, and obviously we've spent a few years in Europe. It seems like when they're pitching to these players, it seems like Steident is going out and pitching them the project. He's pitching them like, yeah, we've had these European nights, we've had this European trophy, we want more of them, and you're going to be the one of the pieces of the puzzle that get us there. When you look at adding Füllkrug, Somerville, Guilherme to the likes of Antonio, who I think played well the other day. Danny Ings looked sharp in pre-season. The likes of Bowen, Paquetá, Kudus. It's a very, very tasty forward line, and if we can get that midfield and defence tightened up, I'm telling you what, we could look like a real force next year. But you've got to hand it to Tim Steident. Tim Steident seems to be the driving force behind this. He doesn't muck around. He was that sort of driving force behind Leverkusen before he came to us. He's a good signing, Füllkrug. When you look at the quality we've got on the outside, as long as we can get them balls on the outside, which is a lot of criticism last year come from the Moyes teams. They don't cross the ball, but with the likes of Somerville signing, you're going to think that the plan is to get it wide and to get it in the box. And he's a big boy, Füllkrug. Good in the air, good with his feet, can hit them early, can hit them late. can bring them down, can head the ball. I'm quite excited about this one. And, when you add it to the likes of what we've already got, with Paquetá still staying at the moment, it doesn't look like he's going to be banned. We've got some depth. We've actually got some depth in attack. We've got an actual squad. Will there be movings on? Yes, I'm sure there will be. I think that they'll be looking for news come out over the last couple of days that they're looking to move Zuma on, which is no surprise, to be honest with you, when you see the state of his knees, uh, and where we're going to go moving forward. They'd probably want his wages off the wage bill. It's probably a quite large wage bill. He's moving a little bit shabbily at the moment, you know what I mean? So it might be good for everyone if he goes over to Saudi Arabia, which is, what the the Qatari leagues or whatever it is, which is what the rumours are. I can see one of them, either Ward-Prowse or Souček, moving on. If I'm honest, doesn't look like they fit the system. So if you can get a suitor for one of them, I'm sure he'd take it, especially with like the Wan-Bissaka coming in. Soufal could be looked to move on, unless we want to keep him for a bit of backup. But I can't see them being in the starting lineup next year. Emerson, I think, will work perfectly. Cresswell will get limited game time, but we are building something at West Ham. We've probably been, like, correct me if I'm wrong, we've probably been the most proactive in the transfer window, which is, I can't remember a time ever when I can say that. You know what I mean? We're normally looking for deadline day signings and all of that sort of stuff. But, look, I know we've had a pretty poor pre-season out in the States. I know that we've had sort of a few bad games in terms of defensive wise. But I think there's when you're getting them players back towards the first team and getting them back integrated together. They're coming back to England this week. They're going to have a friendly, which not many people are going to be attending at the London Stadium. And we should have a full squad there. When you look at the likes of Areola, hasn't played this year. Bowen's only played a behind closed doors friendly. Paquetá's only played a behind closed doors friendly. When you get all of them, sort of factors together, with Kudus, I'm telling you what, if we can click early, which is going to be the big test. And look, this is the only thing we might have to be. We might have to be a little bit patient in the terms of gelling all of this together, because it's a lot to gel at once, But there's exciting times ahead at West Ham United. Maybe famous last words. Let's take some of your comments before we head off here. Soufal wasn't happy with his remuneration. These signings would just add fury to the fire. A lot of people worrying about pre-season, but give the guy a chance. Don't worry about pre-season. Pre-season is nothing but minutes, in my opinion. Can't remember us ever doing 3 deals in this short amount of time. Adios Souček, says Iggy Pop. Jordan Hugill, the second coming. I hope not, mate. Depth, something West Ham have been crying out for. Good luck, Nick. Happy to see you back. I won't be there for the Betway Cup. Club sent me two emails a day about tickets. Yeah, they're struggling to sell them, mate. Souček and Zuma will go by the end of the window. The team looks like the Roda team. Brilliant attack, awful defense. Money needs to be spent on 2 defenders. Listen, we spent some money on the defender. Let's see where it goes before we start making predictions. I mean, we're going to have to start making a prediction soon, because the kickoff against Aston Villa is under 2 weeks away now. We need to hopefully Antonio won't throw his toys at the pram this time around. No, I don't think he will. He may be moved on. Who knows? But I don't think he's gonna throw his toys at the pram. We need to give this team and Gaffer time. Yeah, that is a big point. We need to give him a little bit of time. He's obviously got a plan in mind, so let's give him a chance. And got to take the signings on their individual merit and what they bring to the team. Hopefully more positive ones than negative. I'm very the candidate says, Nicky, we conceded 70 goals last year. Yeah, absolutely, under a different manager. But let's see what it comes with. Look, I'm excited. I'm excited to see these players in action in a couple of weeks' time in the Premier League. Look, I'm not going to be panicking if we lose one. We've got a very tough opening game. Someone mentioned there, Aston Villa obviously been quite active in the transfer market as well. It's going to be the battle of the two transfer teams. But look, their Champions League team this year, top four team last year. It's not going to be easy, but we start at home. But they're statement signings. Yes, good T-Boys TV says yes, they're statement signings. Yes, they are statement signings. Does this still mean we're gonna go for Duran? Listen, I still think a Duran deal could be done. Especially if someone goes out, if an Ings or Antonio go out. Um, I see a lot of Aston Villa fans yesterday really whinging about the way he's not treated the club, but he's made a bit of a fuss over there at Villa. He obviously wants to go. He wants to play football. Will that change his mind now that Füllkrug's come in? Can't play two unless he's going to play two, but I don't think he will. Will that change his mind? Perhaps he can come in on loan with a view to buy or obligation to buy next season. Who knows? But they there's a few of them sound like anything over £25 million now. Just let him go. Just let him go. Not convinced by Kilman. Wolves fans weren't crying he left. We need a right back and a centre back. Listen, let's just see what happens. Yes, need the right back. I think I don't know what the situation is with Wan-Bissaka. He looked like he come off injured the other night. But let's see. Someone says Duran's going to the MLS. That'd be a silly move. Mine's give us the best moments. Is Flawless. Flopategui is going to take us down. Okay, Flawless. We'll see, mate. I see your comment on my video yesterday, but let's see. Right. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV. We'll be back again tomorrow with some more news, hopefully, of a new signing. But thank you very much for joining us. One thing left to say. Come on.